Hello everyone, I'm Cassie from iChongqing. Today we have been to this beautiful Fairy Mountain from Wulong district of Chongqing. We are going to discuss the natural education on children in China and internationally today. And let's follow us.
My name is Chad Swope. I'm from the University of Iowa in the United States, and I'm the Assistant Director of the Wildlife Camps and School of the Wild programs at the University of Iowa and a coordinator for our outdoor recreation and education programs at the University of Iowa. I think what they've been finding for decades now, as cities and municipalities have expanded, the differences in children. This nature deficit disorder, think of something that you've been without and not even understanding what it is. And so just differences in kids, how they act and behave is different without this nature in their lives. And so I know that's something that we've always tried to get them back into nature, to live a healthier life. You know, as far as what harm, think of something just natural, something that's been good in your life and that you may not even know what it is because you grew up in a city. I remember my niece was born in New York City and lived there until she was 2 and would come home to Iowa and stepped out and didn't know what the grass was. Wouldn't step off the sidewalk, was nervous to step off the sidewalk, gently bent down to feel it, what it was. What harm that does to them, I don't know, but like it kind of broke my heart that, you know, didn't even know what that is. So it maybe done more harm to me. Boy, I think just bringing us back to our roots. What I always like to think of is, you think of in 1950, there were 2.5 billion people on the planet. Now there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, and our municipalities, our cities have grown larger, and it's harder to get out into nature. And so if we get people back out in there, again, relieves stress. It's a healthier lifestyle. Bring us back to the importance of, we've been using up our resources so much, that the importance of protecting them. And I think just protecting ourselves. So, and this is what I'm talking in my speech about, is our programs that we really try to promote are the 3 A's, okay? The first one is bringing awareness, bringing them out, giving them opportunities to experience what we have in our wilderness areas. Whether it be just into the trees, into the streams or the ponds, and making them more aware of what we have. And hopeful with that awareness comes an appreciation, nurturing that appreciation for these natural things. I know one thing in our camps, we have different wetlands and we're catching frogs and we're catching turtles, and I have young children who are scared of them. It's like nothing, they're not going to do anything to you, and making them more aware, and hopefully they appreciate it. So really in the hopes of the future is that they're taking action to protect these areas, so they don't continually disappear. And like right now, different species are disappearing and trees are disappearing, and so before they disappear, I know I want my children to be able to experience these areas. And so just getting them out there to become more aware of what we have, hopefully appreciate it, and hopefully someday to take action to protect it.
So my name is Alan Watson Featherstone. I come from Scotland and I am an ecologist, and I have spent 30 years working to restore the forest in Scotland, which had almost completely vanished. So it's coming back, a new generation of trees, and all the life is coming back, so the land is coming to health again. Most children in the world today grow up deprived of contact with nature. And I think that does a number of things to children which are very bad. First of all, they do not know where their food comes from or where their waste goes. So they don't think before they eat or throw rubbish away. And it encourages a mentality and attitude of disrespect for nature. But secondly, I think there is something else, because when people go out into nature, into a forest or climb a mountain or at the beach and spend time there, those places have a sense of peace, of stillness, and that helps people to be mindful, to have that in themselves too. And nowadays in our world we have many problems with mental illness, and I think a lot of those problems come because people are disconnected from nature. Planting a tree is a positive action. In our world today, most of the news about nature and the environment is bad news. It's pollution, it's elephants being killed, it's climate change, it's all bad news, it's depressing. But if you plant a tree, it's a positive action. A tree like this here next to me, you know, will grow for maybe 100 years, maybe 200 years, maybe more. And in its life, it will support birds and animals, plants, and people will enjoy it. So planting a tree is a very powerful action. And for children especially, they can watch the tree grow up, and the tree will live beyond them, because most trees live longer than people. So it's a way to help people find that they can make a positive difference in the world. And I think everybody wants to do that, because we all know, especially young children now, that the planet is in trouble. In my country, many children are going on strike about climate change, and in other countries the children are really concerned. So what can they do? Well, planting a tree is one of the best things they can do, because it is giving life back to the earth, and the earth needs a lot of life. It needs a lot of love. And when we plant a tree and nurture it, and we water it, and then we come back and look at it after 1 month, after 1 year, after 10 years, and we see it grows, there is a connection made, and then people will care for that tree. And when that child is an adult, if somebody says, well, I want to cut that tree down, they will say, no, that's my tree. I've been growing that tree. So they have a connection, which is what we need to protect nature. We need people to have this personal connection. Well, there are many ways to protect the environment, but the most crucial one in my view at the moment is that there are 7.7 billion people on the planet, and 7.7 billion people want more. We live in a culture of capitalist growth, endless economic growth, more of everything, and that is what is destroying the planet. So what we have to do is educate people to say we do not need more material goods. There is no fulfillment in material goods. If you look at all the richest people in the world, they're no happier than me. They're probably less happy because they're not living on purpose. So we need to help people shift away from this idea that your happiness depends on how much money you have in the bank and how many cars you have, and if you have the latest television or the latest mobile phone and you get a new phone every year. That is what is killing the planet. So we can each choose to live more simply. And I've done that in my life by choosing to live more simply. For instance, 40 years ago, I became vegetarian. I do not eat meat. I do not eat any animal product. So I don't eat cheese or milk or eggs or anything like that, because I discovered that to provide the food that I need, if I eat it only from vegetables, I need 1/10 of the earth's land to grow that food. But if I were to eat meat again, then the cow or the pig or whatever has to be fed with vegetables and grain, and it converts that at 1/10, 10% efficiency. So you have to give it 10 kilos of food to get 1 kilo of meat. So if I need 1 kilo of food for 3 or 4 days, by eating it from plants, I demand much less of the earth. So that is not to say that everybody needs to stop eating meat, but I think people need to eat less meat. In the past, meat was an occasional luxury, not something that people had every day, 3 times a day, which is what is happening now. And it's the same with fish. The oceans are being overfished because people want more fish. I do not eat fish. So everybody can make choices like that. I can buy my clothes from a second-hand shop rather than going out to get new ones. And in Britain now we have what's called fast fashion. So many people, they buy clothes, they wear them once and then they throw them away. It's madness. So all those things we can choose to do on a daily basis. And when we understand that everything is connected to nature, nature provides all those things. So if we ask for less, then it helps. I've just recently bought an electric car. So my car now uses no fossil fuels. And so there's no carbon dioxide from my car. So I'm always trying to make changes to be more conscious about the impact of what I do.